Hello, doers, and welcome back. In previous videos, we learned how to configure a Shopify account in Odoo and link Odoo to Shopify. Today, I'm going to show you how to perform Odoo Shopify connector operations. When you're selling through Shopify, manually importing orders, updating inventory, and reconciling returns can quickly become time-consuming. Odoo Shopify connector automates these processes so your sales, inventory, and accounting stay synchronized. So let's get into the meat of the matter, the filling of the taco. You get what I'm saying. Before we get into the database, I'm going to explain how the manual and automatic operations work. Rather than real-time syncs, the Shopify connector uses scheduled actions, cron jobs for you nerds. The majority of data flows one way, from Shopify to Odoo, though there are a few exceptions, which I'm going to show you in a moment. All manual actions are titled fetch, and they happen to be used to pull data for products, orders, locations, and inventory. The fetch orders action is the only operation that can be manually triggered and is on a time schedule. Another exception is the update inventory feature, which allows Odoo to push inventory updates to Shopify during order synchronization, allowing you to use Odoo as the source of truth for all your stock and purchasing needs. Now, the primary synchronization process of the Shopify connector is the fetch orders operation because it handles much of the heavy lifting. It syncs every 10 minutes, and when it does, it imports all of the inventory, returns, refunds, credit notes, invoices, and payments, and customer data from Shopify. So, let's dive into Odoo to see how it works. The Shopify account form is where most settings are configured to ensure smooth synchronization. We can get to the Shopify accounts page by opening up the sales app like we're already in, select the configuration and accounts under the Shopify subheading. And we're already there right now. So as I mentioned earlier, the operations tab, which we're in right now, only displays when Odoo is connected to Shopify. I'm actually going to click into our configuration tab right now and check that the following features are enabled. So we want to make sure we have create products, create taxes over here in our bottom right, create invoice as well. Now you also notice there is a new checkbox, update inventory, that displays after the account is connected. This one is also enabled by default. So with these enabled, Odoo checks for existing records before creating new ones using the Shopify product SKU or reference number. Without a SKU, Odoo will not be able to import the Shopify product. If there are record updates in Shopify, Odoo updates them as needed. And if not, Odoo creates new entries using Shopify data. We've also assigned, you'll notice, specific accounting journals for both payments and sales as well. If I need to change any of these settings, I actually need to click our disconnect button over here first, then reconnect the account form after I apply the changes. Next, I'm actually going to enable developer mode, which exposes the log smart button, which we're going to review later. So I'm going to select configuration over here up at the top, and then settings. Then we're going to select, once that this page loads right here, we're going to select our general settings from the left-hand sidebar. And at the very bottom, we have three options. You want to click activate the developer mode with assets option right there. All right, now that we've confirmed all of the settings are enabled and we let this refresh, let me show you some smart buttons that appear on the Shopify account form once connected. So I'm actually going to go to our Odoo landing page over here, and this time we're going to open up the sales application, select configuration, and then accounts once again. So we can see several Shopify accounts are connected because Odoo can connect to multiple Shopify stores at once, as long as each store configures its own account form. So I'm going to select our first Shopify account. Boom, there we are. So at the top of the form, there are several smart buttons. Let's begin with, we're going to click into offers. The offer page lists all matched product pairings between Shopify and Odoo by SKU. And you can see that right there from that column. So this ensures Shopify products stay linked to the correct Odoo products during future synchronizations. We can manually change the match product over here, which represents the Odoo product entry. So how do we do that? Well, I actually just need to click into the field right there, and I can type the product name, but we're going to undo that right there. Alternatively, I can click twice in here and boom, now I have a drop-down menu that's appeared. Another column that I also want to highlight is stock synchronization over here. You see that little checkbox right there? When this line's checkbox is enabled, then any stock changes made on Odoo's product entry are synchronized to Shopify. And let's just say you want to customize this. You want to customize the columns. Well, to do that, we just select this nice little settings icon up over here in the top right corner, and a drop-down menu will display additional values. And I just need to select one of these little checkboxes to enable it. So this menu is available for all smart buttons, except the log, and the values will vary. All right, let's click out of there right there. Okay, so I'm also going to click the Shopify account form link via the breadcrumb. So we're going to go back. Boom. There we are. And now I'm going to select our orders smart button. Boom. The orders page lists all the confirmed sales orders pulled from Shopify. No other sales orders will be included. So now, once again, we're going to return back over to our Shopify account form. This time we're clicking on locations. The locations page is linked to the inventory app and lists all configured stock locations linked to the Shopify account. We can add new stock locations or even disable stock synchronization for specific locations. The last smart button, by the way, is only visible when you're in developer mode. So going back over to our Shopify account form via the breadcrumbs once again, we're going to click. So clicking logs shows us all of the failed and error fetching operations the form has performed. If I were to click an entry over here, like I just did, I can see the logging details. Fetch operations that receive an error also trigger an email notification that gets sent to the admin user. And there you have it, Odooers. We learned all about the manual and automatic operations on the Operations tab and reviewed the smart buttons on the Shopify account form. If you happen to be curious about organizing inventory or configuring products in Odoo, check out the links in the description box. That's it for today. Talko it easy and go grab a snack.